The point guard matchup in the Western Conference Finals hasn't quite been what we've expected. Russell Westbrook has shined while Steph Curry's struggled. We asked you to weigh in on this question earlier in the show. We needed your help. Is Russell Westbrook proving that he's better than Steph Curry? And the results are in here, gentlemen. 58% say yes, Westbrook is better.
True.
Stephen A.?
Well, first of all, those numbers don't prove, as far as I'm concerned, what it really proves is that people don't know basketball, because what you're looking at is the head-to-head matchup against somebody as opposed to their overall game. Just because Russell Westbrook is out playing Steph Curry, particularly going at Steph Curry, doesn't make him better than Steph Curry. This is not a one-on-one matchup. This is a game, a team game, and there are a bevy of elements that come into the equation to define what greatness is and who brings more of a level of greatness to the table. Having said all of that, it's not like it's a runaway issue. It's always been close. Russell Westbrook is a superstar. So is Steph Curry. Russell Westbrook is a better athlete. Steph Curry's a better shooter. Steph Curry makes better decisions with the basketball. Russell Westbrook has more in his arsenal if he's not making jump shots. Russell Westbrook seems to be a bit tougher defensively than Steph Curry. So you can make the argument that he's better. It depends on what you're looking for and what team that you're on. But I'd say it's right up there. It's very close. Neither should be disrespected. What I would tell you is that as point guards, Steph Curry is slightly better because he usually makes better decisions, plus he's a greater threat from the perimeter, whereas Russell Westbrook will win games for you, but he'll also lose games for you with some of his decision making. Again, they're both superstars, and it's very close. But because of the position that they play, if Russell Westbrook was a shooting guard and so was Steph Curry, I'd tell you, or Russell Westbrook was a scoring forward or whatever, I would tell you that Russell Westbrook is slightly better because of what he does on both ends. But because they're point guards and your responsibility is to run the show, not just score, keep turnovers down, get other people involved, and all of this other stuff. Even though Russell Westbrook now in this postseason, combined with the regular season, has registered about 19 triple-doubles, the reality is there have been some games where his decision-making has been questionable, whereas that hasn't been the case up until this series with Steph Curry. So I would give Steph Curry a very slight edge, but again, it's pick your poison because both of them are lethal.
Yet and still, on a daily basis, I'm hearing you get more and more like enthusiastic to the point of crazed about the assassin that is Russell Westbrook, how hard he plays on a dribble-by-dribble basis. I think if I ask you, who would you start your team, who would you build your team around, I think you might go Russell Westbrook right now.
Yeah, because that motor is something that matters to me. But it doesn't matter in the equation of who's the better player. It matters in terms of what I need to galvanize the rest of the troops around me. You're not going to be lazy playing with Russell Westbrook and last very long.
Okay. To answer the question, I disagree with the 58%. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be a prisoner of this moment. And we are in a moment and overreact and say, yeah, Russell Westbrook has proven he's better than Steph Curry, the back-to-back MVP and the unanimous first ever unanimous MVP this year. Sorry, not going to do it. I need to throw this out. Obviously, Russell Westbrook is playing better right now, but should we put any kind of asterisk here? Should we give Steph any break? And I don't have an answer to this, Stephen A. Smith. I know what my eyes are telling me about whether Steph is injured or not. I don't see him injured in his legs. I know he's had the big ankle injury, an issue, and he's had the knee injury, an issue. Might be ongoing, but he still looks as quick as ever to my eye. Is that shooting elbow that he banged up back in Oakland that swelled to the size of a tennis ball, is it affecting his stroke from three? I don't know. Should we give him some little break here? Is that why he's getting so badly outplayed?
Let me tell you what break you need to give him. When Steph Curry makes a move, he has to deal with 6'11".
That's
First of all, he's got Russell Westbrook in front of him. Then he's got to deal with 6'6" Roberson.
Yep.
6'11" Kevin Durant. 7 foot Steven Adams.
Yep.
6'10" Serge Ibaka. He's got to deal with that. Russell Westbrook don't have to concern himself with any of that.
Nope.
Once he blows by anybody.
I am with you.
So again, that's the team concept in it all. Steph Curry has to fend off more than Russell Westbrook. The problem with Steph Curry right now is that if it wasn't a problem with the first 3 games you played against them in the regular season, and not just Steph Curry, all of them, Draymond Green included. If it wasn't a problem with the regular season, why is it a problem now?
Yeah, okay. So to amplify your point, I want to remind everyone, Steph Curry's the greatest shooter ever. I want to remind everyone, Russell Westbrook has consistently been one of the poorest three-point shooters in the NBA.
Less than 30%.
That's correct. And last night, if you can get him to hit a couple, it's just gravy, man. It's icing. It's like, wow, now you're really in trouble. But I got to give Russell Westbrook my ultimate respect, because for years on this show, to your point about playing out of control, I've said, nope, he's not a point guard, counterfeit, fraudulent. He's a 2-guard masquerading as a 1. Lately, he has turned into a pure point guard, in part because he got wrapped up in, oh, wow, I can have a triple-double if I get double digits in assists. And all of a sudden, he is dishing to Steven Adams and to Ibaka and to Cantor. He loves this. And he is now a pure point guard. Much better. I think he's a better point guard than Steph is. Steph has been really careless with the basketball in this series.
This series is true, but Russell Westbrook is lethal. I've been raving about him for years. I told you that. He's making me look very good right now. He's phenomenal.
They're both superstars, but shocking you guys don't agree with Twitter. For the first time this season, Golden State loses 2 straight games. How much is Steve Kerr to blame for the state of the Warriors? That is next. A new NBA record with 73 wins this season. The Warriors are in a pretty deep hole after last night's Game 4 loss to the Thunder. They lost their first pair of back-to-back games this entire season in blowout fashion, losing by 24 in 28. Stephen A., how much is Steve Kerr to blame for the Warriors' recent struggles?
Well, he has culpability. He's the coach. He's the guy that is being outshined by Billy Donovan. If Billy Donovan had no impact, then we'd just be looking at the players and talking about how, you know, one team is simply better than the other. But when you look at Billy Donovan and the adjustments that he's making, that's when you look at Kerr and say, okay, how are you going to counter that? We go into a lineup and it's Adams and Cantor 1 minute. It's them out and Ibaka in the next. It's Adams next. It's Ibaka's out, and you know, and what have you. And you just look at what's transpiring. It's Russell Westbrook on Steph Curry. It's Roberson on Steph Curry. You get out to the 3. It's Kevin Durant on there. They're switching. 1 minute they're switching. Another thing they're fighting. Another minute they're fighting through picks. They're not switching at all. You're just watching things that manifest itself, that transpire, and it says to you that Billy Donovan is coaching this team, and you just get the impression, and maybe Skip, it's maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but there are a lot of times where I know they showed Steve Kerr just standing up on video and banging, you know, flailing his arms or doing something, but a lot of times you just see Steve Kerr sitting there next to Luke Walton, and he looks as helpless as the players. I remember one time when in Game 3, Oklahoma City's making a run, and you literally could see the players looking over at the bench for help from Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr just said, just shook his head, no, I can't help you. And I didn't blame him for it, but you are looking for him to do something more than has been done.
I did wonder a couple of times last night when they showed Kerr beside Luke Walton, what was going on in Luke Walton's head. Did he have a quick fix that he would like to try to implement? Obviously, he was the head coach of this team for a while, and he's going to be the head coach in L.A. So I was curious what was going through his mind. But, Stephen A., in the end, I'm not going to be a hypocrite about this. If I had a glaring criticism of Steve Kerr, if I were ready to say he should have done this or he shouldn't have done that, I would blame him. But instead, all I can do at this moment is credit Billy Donovan, and we haven't brought up this name yet, Mo Cheeks, for the job he's done with Russell Westbrook. Did you? I'm sorry, I missed that. But listen, those two together, and Mo was gone for a period this year. Obviously, they've had all kinds of trouble with their assistants, and the tragedy that happened to the other assistant is almost unspeakable. And God bless him and his family. But in this case, Billy Donovan's just turning into a star right before your very eyes at the expense of Steve Kerr. I don't see an answer that's obvious. Steve Kerr can't make Steph Curry make open shots, and he missed 5 open threes. And in the end, the one area I would criticize him for, his team just isn't ready to play on a nightly basis because they are running into an Oklahoma tornado. It is blowing them off the floor. They're getting out-hustled, out-toughed, out-scrapped. And is that his fault? Is there some motivation that's not happening pregame? Are they a little too cool for school? Are they just saying, we got this? You know, Steph's attitude, you know, it's kind of like, I'm cool and you're not. It's just the way they play. That's their RPM. They outskill you. They outshoot you. And all of a sudden, they're just getting out-scrapped here. So, I don't know. Is that Steve Kerr's fault? Should he motivate harder?
No, but they were 73-9, and they had to win the last 4 games of the regular season prior to these playoffs. There are people that are going to bring that up. I'm not, because I don't have a problem with what he did. I understand it. But the other side to this, Skip, again, is I'm not saying that he's primarily to blame, but how does he walk away unscathed if it was anybody else? Would they be able to do that? We'd be looking at Billy Donovan, looking at what he's done, and we would say, Steve Kerr, what answer do you have for this? And, oh, by the way, you gave up 42 points in the second quarter. The other night you gave up 38 in the second quarter and 45 in the third quarter. No, you can't help Steph Curry and them make shots. But where's your defense?
Yep.
He has nothing to do with that?
Agreed.
Game 5 tomorrow in Oakland. And talk about walking away unscathed. That didn't happen for the team Stephen A. claims. Le'Veon Bell hasn't forgotten where his season came to an end. You want to stick around to hear what he is saying now about the Bengals. That's next.